This presentation is for reviewing changes at Sunset for dispatching brokers starting in 2016 and then beyond, and what to expect if you're a broker, dispatcher, or biller. The intended audience for this presentation are brokers that are working with Sunset, new brokers who are considering working with Sunset or are about to start, all Sunset dispatchers, and all Sunset billers. The topics we're going to go through today are getting broker orders from Sunset Dispatch, communicating broker order status with Sunset Dispatch every day, and some do's and don'ts for submitting broker tickets for payments to Sunset. For the overview here, for the last year, Sunset's been working towards completely changing the way we dispatch all orders. So right now, we're now moved into the broker area, and for all orders, 100% of the orders, we put them into our TMW dispatch system before we communicate those orders to our drivers, our owner operators, and now before they're communicated to the brokers. And then the other part of that is Sunset needs to know the outcome of all the orders that we put in the systems within 24 hours. For us, the outcome is relatively simple. It was either completed or it was canceled. For brokers, we also need some information written on the face of the ticket, and that would be your carrier ID number and the TMW order number that we'll be communicating to you. The other part is that our brokers need to collect the PODs in a timely manner and deliver them to Sunset. That would be Sunset billing. We want that daily if possible, twice a week, but no later than Friday. We'll talk about how to reconcile the customer scale tickets or the PODs against your daily dispatch report that your dispatchers will send you every day. And the brokers need to provide the scale tickets along with the reconciled dispatch report for Sunset payment processing. So as Sunset has implemented our new dispatcher system, our dispatchers' roles have changed, and so has their interactions and questions and answers that happen every day with our brokers. As we mentioned before, we put 100% of our customer orders are entered into our system. The customer orders can be communicated to the brokers, but it must have an order number or it's not valid. The broker orders are emailed to the brokers daily by the Sunset dispatcher, and they're using the broker daily dispatch report to do so. And you'll see some samples of that in a minute. There are sometimes changes to that, and you'll see that we can write those changes in when needed. But if there are major changes during the day, don't hesitate to ask your dispatcher to resend a report that has the corrections and reflect the current activity in the dispatch system. We need to know the outcome of every orders as they become known every day. And there's 3 questions that the Sunset dispatchers will be asking the brokers. What was the outcomes of the load you accepted yesterday? Were they completed or not delivered or canceled? Not delivered and canceled being the same thing. How are your loads today coming along? Do any of them need to be reassigned? How many loads can you handle tomorrow? So we can start planning tomorrow's work and give you the loads that we need you to deliver for us. Once we get into the day of delivery, the loads are available to move around and work with for 15 hours after the start time of the load in our system. Once we've gone past that 15 hours, that number is no longer good, and the dispatcher will cancel the order and reissue a new number. Sunset dispatchers, again, will be asking those three questions. They must confirm with the brokers that all accepted orders were either completed or canceled. They need to know that every day, for every load, for every broker. Along with new roles for our dispatchers, we're asking our brokers to look for different things than we've asked before. Brokers must get that daily dispatch report from Sunset every day, and it should have every order that any broker has agreed to deliver for Sunset. You get that from your dispatcher. That report should have every order the broker has agreed to deliver. If an order is missing, contact your dispatcher and verify that. If needed, the dispatcher can easily resend that daily broker dispatch report. Don't hesitate to ask. It's a very simple thing to do. We want you to get the correct information so we can get back the correct information. We're also asking the broker drivers to verify they're doing what we asked them to. We need to get the POD stamp or the signature when a load is delivered. The driver should write the Sunset TMW order number on the scale ticket number's face. Again, they need to write the carrier ID on every scale ticket. And we have some samples to go over in later slides, and I'll show you where you get this information and where you put this information. Along with the new broker's roles and responsibilities for accepting orders from Sunset, we're asking you to do things in a structured manner when you submit tickets for payments. Sunset will require that each scale ticket given to Sunset by broker for payment has been reconciled against that daily dispatch daily report. We have some samples to show you. And prepared for payment with the POD stamp, the handwritten Sunset order on the face of the ticket, and the handwritten carrier ID on the face of the ticket. Send the ticket and the reconciled daily report to Sunset. Sunset will not accept tickets even if they're reconciled when they're not complete and accurate. They don't have the handwritten order number, they don't have the carrier ID, or they don't have the POD. Or if you're sending an image, if that image is unreadable or it's incomplete, if it's cropped, you're not getting the full POD image. Our customers require that, so we're asking you to do that. As we stated on the previous slide, we need the tickets turned in to be complete and accurate. And to be on the same page, we thought we'd review what complete and accurate means to Sunset. We either need the actual ticket or a readable image of the ticket that's not blurry and it's complete. The tickets need to be reconciled against the daily broker dispatch report. Every ticket must have the POD signature or stamp on the face of the ticket. The handwritten on the face of the ticket would be the Sunset order number, and handwritten on every ticket should be the carrier ID number. The tickets need to be received at Sunset along with the reconciled daily dispatch report. And again, reconciliation is letting us know whether the load was completed or not delivered or canceled. And we'll see more of that in a few slides later. If you're emailing us images, email them to brokerimage@sunsetlogistics.com. If you're doing physical tickets, turn them in however you're doing them now with no change, except for do include the reconciled report of the daily dispatch report so that we can see and reconcile those reports and make sure that all assignments are known. They were either completed or they were not delivered, i.e. canceled. In this example, this is the Sunset Daily Broker Dispatch Report. And just to take a quick look at it, you'll have your order number and information about the order. You can fill in, this comes to you in Excel if you want to for reconciliation, the ticket number and the weight. You'll have your load times and your unload times. Your carrier information will always be the same. For instance, my sample carrier is 0102, and that's the carrier ID that needs to be written in on the ticket. And you'll have your shipper and your consignee. You'll have as many rows as you have orders for that day. And we're displaying 4 here, and 4 will be our example as we move forward. Taking a second look at the exact same report, we're going to be asking you to put certain things, information, as we described earlier, on the scale ticket itself. And that will be the Sunset order number, which you'll always find right here. You have communicated that to your driver in the first box. And you'll always have your carrier ID, which is in the box under carrier information. So that you know that you have these pieces of information available to you, and you can make them available to your driver at any time. And using that same information off of that dispatch report on the previous slide, You carry that same information directly over to your scale ticket, writing in the sunset order number on the face of the ticket clearly and legibly, and writing in your broker carrier ID. In this example, we're using 0624. Looking at this again, the sample reconciliation, if you had full orders from us, you would have got a daily broker dispatch report with 4 rows on it. We would expect this to be reconciled with 4 tickets and then delivered to Sunset for payment. 4 tickets, 4 orders, pretty simple. In the real world, it's a little bit different. So we'd have the same base example of 4 orders that you accepted, and we're asking you to turn in this daily, if possible, multiple times a week if you can, but you might not have everything for every day. So writing information where it's needed. You may have already communicated that information to the dispatcher, but we want to again communicate it to our billing department. So if you look at the last two, we're still waiting on the driver to deliver the ticket. So you've told us that it was delivered, so we shouldn't cancel it, but you don't have a ticket for it yet. Dropping down a row, this order was canceled or not delivered, and that is fine. Write either one, just so that we know that we shouldn't be looking for that ticket. You should have already communicated that to your dispatcher. In case you haven't, our billing department will then verify that it was canceled because you've told us so, and or the dispatcher has already entered that in. So write in those extra lines when needed. For example, you may get a tick call during the day that is called in, and it would not be on your daily dispatch report because it's current, not the day before. Go ahead and add an extra row if needed. If you don't have the capability to add a row, just add another line. And definitely write whether it was delivered or canceled.